Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of Making a Tarot Card app with your 2 hosts. My name is Jess Moon. I'm one of the design managers on Adobe XD. And join with me today is the lovely, talented Talin Wadsworth.
She did it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we were talking about this right before where I was like, can I put a pun in Talin's name? And I'm like, oh, he's so talented. I know. Talin.
Very, very original. Very original, Jess. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Although in all seriousness, wait till you all see what we have in store for you today, because overnight, Talin has put some immense, beautiful love into this design. And I just looked at it moments ago and was blown away by how cool it is.
Wow.
So
when you get into a project, you just gotta keep pushing it. You gotta keep. I had all these ideas in my head yesterday, and we just had to sort of get them down. So
yes, and it looks amazing. I am so excited for us to dive straight in. Before we get started, I wanted to just give a quick update and preview of what is to come for the rest of today's schedule. So right now you have mobile app design with me and Talin. At 2 o'clock, you will be able to join in with the lovely Andrea Epi and enjoy the XD Creative Challenge, Daily Creative Challenge, which is going to be a fun one. I have a little bit of an homage to it that we'll show you later today, but XD Daily Creative Challenge. And then finally at 2:30 with Alice and Anusha, you will have Doodle Therapy. So please stay tuned, folks, and catch those folks on their lovely streams as well.
Sounds like a great day of streaming right there.
Right? Absolutely. And so for today, we're going to be diving straight into our lovely tarot card app, but maybe Talin, we can give a quick recap of what we've been doing since yesterday, a little bit of kind of the features that we've been showing off since Max.
So we were inspired by our talented colleague, Emma Zhang, amazing artist. Go check her out.
Absolutely.
On Instagram and all over the places. She had shared with us, of course, she's been sharing her amazing artwork for her tarot card series.
It's so beautiful.
Beautiful. So we were inspired by that. We decided that we were going to design a tarot app. There's not really one out there. Like if you wanted to go and do, get your tarot reading, you'd have to go see someone in person. You have to learn it and do it yourself, which is all great. But what if we had an app to do that? And so what we did yesterday was we sort of introed our app called the Daily Arcana, which is the daily secret for all those Latin readers out there. And we started to kind of sketch in kind of the core experience of that. Of course, we also created a design system. We published a library. We brought in new assets from existing Creative Cloud libraries. So we showed off some of those new features. And then, of course, we use 3D Transform, which, of course, as Jess knows, is one of my favorite features right now.
Yes.
And we showed the ability to take any object, any group inside of XD and basically design it.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. I just watched that forever. Yay.
Kind of amazing. Actually, later on, I'm going to have to go find this and look this up. I saw someone created the PIXAR lamp with 3D Transform.
Really?
The intro sort of like animation where it like is looking down and then it kind of like turns its head to the side. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I woke up to that on Twitter today. That was kind of blowing my mind.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
I'll go pull it up as we're sort of chatting here today. Again, we're going to be here with you all for a bit. So it's great to see a bunch of those names in the chat too. So we used, of course, 3D Transform. We used other features like padding. We didn't get into stacks quite yet, but again, we're sort of using XD to kind of execute on our vision here of creating this tarot app. And as Jess was mentioning, I spent some time last night really thinking more about this experience, about our tarot app here. And I started to sort of design kind of a sort of core landing page or like dashboard where you can sort of check up on your horoscope and kind of maybe see other news items sort of pop up here about you and your day, or maybe the month that you're on. And you can imagine a bunch of other things here, which we may not have time to get to today, but you can imagine that all happening here. And of course, featuring Emma's artwork very prominently up here, the daily card, I would imagine. In this example would be the Empress. I thought it was really cool. And then, moving on, again, as we see, I'm actually going to prototype this in real time because we can do that. We can basically move from one screen to the other. And I have been kind of working up some little animations here. Let's see if they're, I don't think it's quite wired up yet, but at least for auto animating purposes.
Oh, and Howard just posted the tweet, by the way, that
there it
you
is.
had mentioned.
Yes. All right, we're gonna have to go. Let me pull this up. Here is the tweet. This was blowing my mind this morning. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I have not seen this. Let's see it.
Of course, over the screen, maybe not as smooth, but you should all go click on the link and check it out. It's crazy. I was just like, what?
How did they do?
You see there's probably there's the circle being rotated, there's another shape for the lamp, there's some gradients to sort of give you the sense of depth, and then of course the structure, the wire structure with some vector paths. This was pretty impressive.
I just want to make this now. I just want to make this. What?
It was amazing. I know. I'm so inspired. I'm like, oh, how do we top that? I don't
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So here again, here's kind of like we thought, we wanted to feature a lot of different artists, right? Not just the sort of standard tarot deck, but we wanted to let you choose what are you feeling today? What's the vibe you're going for your reading? And so we have kind of a sort of deck selector here. This was kind of the core of the experience we did yesterday, and I worked on that just a little bit.
Look at
so
that.
We have little the card kind of coming forward, and I also
oh my goodness, that
see the back
is so pretty. Wow.
I hopped into Illustrator on the iPad this morning to design this card back, and of course dropped it into libraries and brought it directly into XD. So here we can see a little bit about the artist, about Emma. Super exciting. And of course, where we ended yesterday was we not only were doing this flip, but we kind of did yet another flip. And this is the deck that we want to go with, sort of starting us into our reading. That was kind of where we left off yesterday. It was getting ready to sort of do our first reading here inside of the app.
Oh, and look at that. You are just flipping those cards like no one's you're just like flip. It's just
there you go.
It looks great. I love it.
So Yay. So from here, this is where I thought we could start and kind of get ready for our deal, our sort of reading, our tarot reading.
And can I just drop a little hint, because I know what's coming at the end of this, which is you have to show anything, but we were talking about this theme before we did the stream yesterday, and we were planning what we would show. And I think you mentioned it maybe, but the notion of maybe not just having this feel like an app, but seeing it in a bit more of a real life context.
Something maybe a little more immersive. Yes.
Immersive.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I think that's ultimately where we're going to be taking this, is something maybe a little beyond just the screen, as it were. Yeah. So I thought what we could talk about first, of course, is, we want to do our tarot reading. We want to at least have kind of the core mechanics of the shuffle and the deal. And then we're going to take that into new dimensions.
Yes.
So,
by the way, hello, Talin Tid was added in the chat there. Awesome.
Thank you, Munir. Very, very kind of you.
Awesome. All right. So let's see. You've got basically, so what are we doing now?
So we're going to do the shuffle. Remember yesterday we started talking about some of the interesting and idiosyncratic rituals when it comes to actually shuffling and dealing. So I thought maybe you could maybe share some of your learned knowledge,
My learned knowledge.
your YouTube research, and let's talk about.
My pro
Yesterday
research.
we talked a little bit about orientation, right? We talked a little
Mhm.
bit about the different ways of shuffling, and I thought it'd be fun to maybe again kind of use 3D transform, kind of use interaction design animation here to start to just kind of preview a little bit of that,
Yeah.
kind of here on our sort of table space, as it were.
Well, so ladies and gentlemen, allow me to educate you all on something I know nothing about, that I spent just momentary time on YouTube and glean little bits of knowledge from yesterday's chat to put together. So first off, again, if you weren't with us yesterday, here's my quick disclaimer. I know absolutely nothing about tarot card reading other than they're beautiful, cool, amazing, and so according to YouTube and my quick scrappy knowledge, we start out with a deck. And from the deck, we split them off into, we shuffle them in a certain way. And this in and of itself is a very meaningful and kind of almost like a ritual, if you will, of depending on the reader, right? There is all sorts of preferences and styles and intent on how the deck gets shuffled. But essentially you shuffle the deck and then you choose a way that you want to do your reading. And the readings are, I think for the most part, categorized in general readings, as well as more specific question-based readings. And once you, shuffle your cards and then you place the ones that you are using to kind of dictate the context you're about to give to the person who's getting their reading, you have these cards show up. And the card has two interpretations. So if the card is facing the normal way that it's been set, then it has one interpretation. If it's placed actually upside down, then it has a slightly different interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have looked this up beforehand, but there is, Val, help me out here, 70 something cards in the deck. And essentially there's the major arcana, which are the ones that really dictate a bit more of the life-centric, bigger kind of, meanings. And then there's a bunch of the minor arcana, which is more based around tellings that are focused on the day-to-day or maybe more specific action-oriented kind of stuff. And Talin is pulling together or showing you kind of the interpretations. But as I said, there's the upright version, which tells you, depending on the card, what that's sort of indicative of. Like in the case of the Fool, it's like a new beginning, innocence and spontaneity. But if the Fool was upside down in your reading, then it might denote something else, so a bit more recklessness, fearlessness, risks. And this in and of itself, by the way, folks, is really interesting because there's an art to even these interpretations. And I think that that's one of the things that makes readers really stand out, is that they all kind of have their own flavor and meaning and intent behind it. And there's a real craft to kind of how even the readers interpret these cards as they do their readings. So super interesting stuff. I'm a geek when it comes to just a lot of the history behind this, and absolutely loves. It's like, I don't know if it's like things in groups like the zodiac signs and tarot cards and Pokemon, but I have to say, when there's a group of things that you can interpret, I'm just all for it. I'm all over that.
I'm with you.
Mythology, Greek mythology, you name it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great roundup. And what's really, of course, perfect here is I brought up the major arcana kind of like meanings here. And that's actually exactly where actually Emma is right now. She's actually working on the minor today. Just kind of based on kind of what we've sort of got. And actually, I gotta this something happened here that really surprised me.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to walk this back for a second, because this kind of blew my mind a little bit. So pulling in the way I like to use Creative Cloud libraries a lot is particularly with content. It's a great way to sort of collaborate with other artists, particularly if they're using, say, Photoshop or Illustrator. And then I can just sort of open up the library, and I can go to all my artists here, and then I can sort of multi-select. I can just drag them all in and right into a repeat grid, and it'll just sort of lay them out sort of all there. And then if they change from the library, they'll update here in XD for me. And this crazy thing happened where originally I had this card, the Magician, the original one that we had, actually in a repeat grid. and I actually ungrouped it to sort of work with it on its own. But then something really funny happened because I wanted to make sure that we had all the cards that we were going to play with today, so I could have all them with all the backs. And so this group right here has the front and the back in it.
Okay.
So they're sort of contained within this group. And I thought, well, easy way for me to, of course, do this I was essentially going to make a repeat grid and then drag out all those images again and sort of lay them out in the repeat grid. But when I did that and hit repeat grid, this object actually remembered.
Oh yeah.
That it was connected.
Yep.
To that library.
Love it.
And so I didn't actually have to do anything else. I just did this. And
imagine. Tool
amazing.
That for you.
Look at that. I just did it for me. I was just like, I had to kind of like play it back a couple times as you were talking, because I was like, wait a second. What just happened there? But no, it actually worked out exactly how I planned it right there. Exactly how I planned it. Exactly. Let's go with that.
I love how, we're making, you and I, we're with this incredibly talented team with the talented Talin. I'm going to say that a bunch of times today. And we make these features and we spend a lot of time just really thinking through the nuances of this. And then it's really funny because then we make them and then we move on and we use them and we're like, oh yeah, that that was actually very helpful. And funny.
There's also something in there, I think, of like that discovery of like collaborating with an engineer. Again, like how something like Repeat Grid originally came about was in that tight collaboration with an engineer, where rather than just sort of saying like, hey, this is the design, go and implement it, it was more of a dialogue. It was, I want to be able to do this.
Yes.
Like in this example, I want to be able to sort of take a sort of block of content or layout, and I want to be able to repeat it, and then I want to be able to fill it with different kinds of content, because that's the majority of kind of the design that sort of lives, whether it's editorial or any kind of sort of app experience. That's kind of the general pattern. And so when I was sort of telling that to Anirudh, my engineering partner back in the day, now our principal scientist, that's where we started. And as Anirudh started to think about how he would go about doing that, right, like that's what led him to this solution where we kind of surprised each other, where he was like, well, I was trying to get to do that, but I actually found out I could also do this thing. And so, on and on. And then that's where that really tight collaboration and conversation happens, and that iteration, that goes into it. And that's just really what I live for, is really that. So it's still fun to be surprised by the work that, that you and I worked on. So.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying is awesome. And it speaks to the fact that there's two things I kind of got from that. One is like, the power of collaboration and that riffing and that ability to build off of ideas and kind of come up with something you never might have come up with on your own, which is, solid, right? And then the second thing is just the messy process of it all. And, I had mentioned this yesterday because Miss Frizzle is like my idol of just getting messy, right? And letting that creative process just kind of help you along as much as, you're trying to shape it. So, and I'm just catching up with the chat here. So, hi, Melanie, you are a reader, and Melanie has told us that it's 72 cards in a deck. So thank you for that. I am super curious how your readings go. And then Dear Howard has said, can a tarot reading predict whether or not dark mode will come to XD? Well, I won't answer that question, Howard. I will say this, is that maybe it would be fun if we're looking for something to do during this design to use one of these tarot cards and see if our chat pod can help predict some of the features for XD. So yeah, and welcome folks who haven't joined with us. We have a couple of folks here who have been having a great conversation in the chat around what is XD. We are a UX and UI tool that creates digital experiences for many different surfaces, including some new ones that we're going to show you today. I'm really hyped about that. Just like I'm really excited too. I'm really excited for the end. Which is going to be superb and lovely, and one of the things that I love seeing about 3D Transform. And we are absolutely encouraging folks in the chat to give us feedback. So, we're designing here, but we want to hear what you guys have to say in terms of if Talin should be doing this or that. I mean, we want that hovering art director as a part of our stream. So come on in and give us your feedback as he designs some beautiful stuff with work that's been highlighted by the lovely Emma Zhang.
Emma Zhang. Oh my goodness.
She's amazing. Emma is amazing. I I love this work. It's so beautiful.
So what I'm doing here is I'm actually kind of setting up we're going to be doing some auto animate here. And so I am actually sort of making sure, this is one of those instances where I am naming my layers.
Yes. One of those instances where I'm naming my layers.
Where I am naming my layers because it's very important when we start getting into auto animate that these are named properly. So I'm just double checking my names here, making sure like everything is looking good and ready to go. Right. So then we can kind of get designing here, get sort of animating.
Yes.
So I'm just double checking all my names here. I want to make sure I have the proper name again because I sort of repeated the group that was called the Magician. And of course, then I sort of took the names and sort of put them everywhere. But I need to make sure that these are all sort of highlighted and called out real quick.
And so if you're not too familiar with what Talin's doing right now, he's basically setting up the stage so that way as he prototypes this, the transitions and such will be done in a beautiful synergistic manner. And so naming the files naming the actual layers is an important part of creating good transitions in prototype mode, primarily because we need to, as XD, understand it's like I'm the tool. We need to understand how the designer is wanting to transition between objects from one artboard to objects to another. So, and yes, Luca, 100% agree that the illustrations that we're showcasing here are sick. They are amazing. Check out Emma's Instagram if you want to know how she's putting this stuff together. She has some great little like behind the scene how-tos as well that show you the designs that are happening here and how she does it. It's amazing. I absolutely love it.
So good. Yeah, you could glean so much information from just how she uses. I believe it's Fresco. I want to say it's Fresco.
And Illustrator.
And Illustrator as well.
Yes. Yep. Beautiful.
All right. I think we've got enough to play with here. Let me just do there. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to leave a few of these other ones here to the side for a second.
All right.
So I'm going to put those over here. Okay. So here we go. So we've got our magician here. So he's already actually in place. And we're going to stack him with a bunch of others. So what I'm going to do is basically take all of these and I'm probably going to group these. So one of the cool things about 3D Transform is really like the ability to transform things relative to one another, right? So as I take this object and I rotate it, right, and I move it, I move it kind of next to these two, right? Like they're kind of operating in their own space, right? But if I sort of group them together, what'll happen is that now they're kind of transforming kind of relative to one another. And this really starts to come into play when you start to work with things like depth, right?
This is a pro tip, everyone. If you are using 3D Transformers, there is a nuance to how the 3D objects play together, depending on if you group them or if you not. If you don't,
So if you want them, you can actually see what's happening here. They're actually moving behind the sort of everything else you can think of. Like there's a plane, and that plane is 0, basically. And so you can move things kind of, again, forwards and backwards from 0. And if things are in different groupings, you can sort of transform them independently of one another. They can sort of have their own little transform space. You can see as I'm rotating this around, these kind of have their own space. And then if I put, say, these cards together here, and then I group them, and I come in, start to transform those. All right, so now they're kind of in their own little world. And see, they're not going to interact with these ones here. Like if I go in here and start to move this up and down. Right, like they're kind of operating kind of their own little 3D world, as is these. And as I rotate them around, right, you can see these are kind of floating in their own little 3-dimensional spaces. So to kind of help out here, what I'm going to do is start with is probably group all of my cards together. Take all my cards here. We're going to flip this one around because this is our magician.
And in case you aren't seeing this, Talin is manipulating some of those values in the PI as well. So he was showing you some of those on-canvas interactions and how to kind of adjust them on the canvas, but you can also adjust the properties on the right side with the 3 new property inspector elements that we have, which show you the X, the Y, and the Z. So.
That's great call out. So now, yeah, I like to do things a little, you know, kind of on canvas, particularly in the early iteration phases where I'm just kind of like dreaming up, you know, what this is going to be.
Yep.
And then I like to go in and kind of, you know, work on these, like, you know, get a little more accurate later on. Actually, looks like somehow these all got rotated as I was doing something. I'm just gonna zero these all out. Okay, so there's my accuracy. All right, so I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna group these all together, and then of course we're gonna stack them all. Oh, I missed 2 in my selection here. Oh, that's right. Okay. It's going around here. Let's see. There we go. Okay.
It's like you're shuffling them in real time.
Shuffling them, and then what we can do then is go in and grab them all. Oh, that's right. That's why, because they're in multiple groups. Just have a look at the layers panel. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so then I'm going to flip them all around.
Okay.
And what I did yesterday, again, to kind of simulate this sort of card back flip, is let's go take a look at that one more time here. Okay, so here I did this interaction where I have this card flip, right? So it has a back and it has a front, and I'm doing something a little tricky. So basically on this group, I'm rotating this, there's the front and the back, and I'm rotating them 180 degrees around the Y-axis. But as I'm doing that, I'm actually swapping places with the front and the back on the Z with the depth, the Z index. So I'm actually kind of like, I'm actually subtly animating the back forward by 1 and moving the front backwards by 1. So when we go in here and look at this, then this is the Z value is at 0 on the front, and the back is at -1. And then when we go over to the other screen, the back is at 0 and the front is at -1. So essentially they're actually kind of like swapping places as I rotate the card around. And if I'm doing that properly in auto animate, now I get this really cool effect where they're actually like flipping back and forth. Right?
Bam.
All right.
It's a magic trick.
Amazing. So what I'm going to do here is actually do kind of quickly that same thing. And we're actually going to probably use about 5 of these. Just going to keep this pretty straightforward. 1, depth is at 0. And here.
Awesome.
The other way around. We want the other way around. Sorry. We want these turned over.
And we've got some new folks joining us in the chat. Hello, Kerwin. Welcome to our stream. We are in the middle of making some magic tricks with 3D Transform, in case you just came in. And Talin is going to show us massive, amazing flippings and trickery here. Oh, man. So pretty.
So crazy. Okay, so here, put that at 0, and put that at -1. Let's see, all right, it's there. We'll do just a couple more of these real quick. All right, justice, bam, nope, that was at 0, that's what I wanted. And then this is at -1. There we go. Okay, so there's 3.
This one's probably my favorite.
I know. The High Priestess. We definitely do the High Priestess.
So pretty. And I just have it does a lot of things for me. My favorite colors are in there. there's like a beautiful like moon homage, which I do have a bias towards that for no reason. And I like the whole veil thing. I have to say, whenever I go to a museum, I used to have this teacher in high school who turned me on to medieval art, and she would always point out the technique behind illustrating like tulle and veil in the medieval work. And it was always, whenever I would go to a museum, that was what I would always focus on, is just like the layering and just that beautiful design work. So whenever I see something like that come into here, I'm just like, oof, it's all so lovely.
So good, so good. Okay, I'm gonna do.
Oh my gosh, the colors of that.
The Wheel of Fortune, I know.
Wheel of Fortune. I don't know how Emma does it. Does she just? I need a whole series of color theory from her so I can just absorb all of her mojo on this, because the colors on these cards are extraordinary.
Oh, so good, so good. Okay. All right, so we're going to leave these ones off for now. The rest
all
of
right.
these, so take them.
I have no idea what you're about to do. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm just like the chat pod where I'm just like, I have no idea what he's about to show us, but I know it's going to be very impressive.
All right, so here's what we've got. We've got our deck. So I'm going to name our deck here, and then we've got.
Why is it called a chat pod? Why do people say chat pod?
Chat pod. I don't know. I think it probably came from.
Where did that come from?
Twitch. You know, because
Twitch.
Like, yeah, it makes sense, right?
I don't know. Who said chat pod first, and why is it that now I just say chat pod? They're not really in a pod, are they? I suppose they are.
In a pod. Okay, so here's what I'm going to. I see. Now I know what's going on. He's got a little.
I feel like
setting a bunch of these real quick.
I feel like every now I'm still on the chat pod thing. It's like, it's not just things like that, but you ever come across an acronym? I don't know why, but I often want to know why something has an acronym, or why some, like trendy term or something came about. Maybe it's my love for linguistics, but I feel like I ask that all the time, and then like I'll talk to an engineer, and they'll say a thing, and I'm like, what does that really mean? Like when you use this term, why do you use that term? And then they're like, I have really no idea. What are you asking me?
Like PI.
Yeah,
PI. If you watch us stream long enough, chances are you'll hear us talk about the PI.
The PI,
and that just means property inspector. But that took a long time, actually. Like even some of the people who new people on our team, there's always been that moment. They're like, wait a second, what's the PI?
I mean, that's just kind of a thing with coming onto any team, right? As you get, here's the glossary of all of the acronyms. And by the way, we also have 500 code names for all of our work in progress products. And so, memorize all of the things. Yeah. Actually, for those, this one's tired out. I know we always use this one, actually, but I am curious if anyone in the chat knows what the original name of XD was when it was still a project, a secret code project.
Yes.
And there's two out there. There's the more infamous one that folks know about that I like, but there's also the OG one that's great. And Howard posted it. I feel like Howard made a actually, now's a perfect time because I saw Howard in the chat. He posted something on Twitter a couple weeks ago that was a quiz, and I feel like it had that question in it. Maybe, I don't know. That was a brutal quiz.
That's right.
Howard.
That's right. He did that little quiz there.
That was brutal. That was great though. I loved it.
Okay, so here's what I've done. Is we're going to go back and just sort of look at our transition, and we're going to have our cards here.
Yes.
That to the back.
So we have a stack of cards on the left.
Yeah, we got our stack. And this is going to land on the top of the stack.
Yep.
Like so. And let's go and check that out. Quick.
And thank you, Howard, for posting the XD quiz. If you haven't taken it yet, Voodoo Val calls it the chat. If the chat hasn't taken it yet, I highly recommend you give it a whirl. And if you get a very high score, reach out and I don't know, maybe we'll do something nice there. But it's a pretty intense quiz.
Very true. Very true.
I love it. I want another one, Howard. Do more. I love taking quizzes, especially on things I should know more about. It's good to be challenged.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure that we've got all of our things. I'm doing that auto animate thing. So to do a nice animation, you need to have the same objects on the first artboard as you do on the second artboard, and their names have to match. And as long as you do that, then you get those nice transitions, right, from one screen to the other. Oh, and that just actually made me think of something before I do that. I'm going to open this up here, and then I'm going to... Okay, this is going to be fun.
Nice sound effects. I like
Sorry, I just like delighting myself as I'm designing. I'm sorry. I just like, you know, again, we talked about this yesterday, but just that delight of like figuring things out, like as you go, and really like, you know, designing in this sense, like we're just figuring this out. We have an idea where we want to go, but you know, we're just having a good time with it. We're just, you know, and I love just being delighted. And sorry, I just was amusing myself.
I think it's great. I think it's great when you're not just getting, you know, the work done, but you're actually having fun making it, right?
That's the best part.
One of the coolest parts of being in the creative industry, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. All right, let me see if I got the hiccups out of this animation now. So we're here, we select the deck.
Oh.
A few little hiccups there. I think it's more of a layering issue.
Okay.
But let's, again, I like to debug like animations. I sometimes like to give a little kind of back and forth trigger so I can kind of see, kind of evaluate this. Again, toggle back and forth, right?
This is a pro tip from Talin, is that you have to debug by looping it, basically.
I see. You do. Okay, so I think it's this magician card that's throwing us off here.
All right.
This magician, what's going on here, magician? Okay, so my deck is here.
Are there any anime fans in the chat? Because you keep saying the magician and I just keep thinking in the back of my mind. Try to weave in as many nerdy things as I can in these streams. And there is an anime that I very much love called JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. And they have basically this sort of like thing where they're, what is the plot? I guess the plot is that they're on a journey to, you know, save the world, as many animes have that same plot. And and in order to do so, they have these sort of like astral projections of themselves in the form of the major arcana. And so the magician is an example of one that I was just thinking in my head of this kind of astro projected form that's called like a stand. It's basically like a fighting ghost. It's like a fighting Pokemon.
Oh,
Ghosted. Actually, oh my goodness. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Pokemon pretty much have almost all the same things in common.
Don't a lot of them? Digimon, Pokemon.
I love Digimon.
Yeah. Aren't they mostly like all like that? Right?
Who doesn't want a pet that they can battle friends with? You know, isn't that what everybody wants? Is that just what I want when I was a kid?
Totally.
I feel like we all wanted like an invisible animal to do magical things and be our companions and friends that spoke to us, right? I mean, I speak to my animals right now. And as a matter of fact, the Daily Creative Challenge is going to talk about animals too. So, you know, we all want to talk to our pets and have them battle one another with magic powers.
We like world building too. I know Val is a huge fan of world building. I think that's why we all get along with Val's, because we're all nerds like that.
Exactly. Yep.
Trying to see what I got going on here. So we're giving me this little hiccup.
And welcome to the stream for the first time, Somya. It's a pleasure having you. We are watching Talin pull off some magic trickery here. by trying to get his cards to shuffle in the right way. He's debugging at the moment, this auto animation. But we are making a tarot card app today, and we have been since yesterday, and we are going to do some more cool stuff on this stream. So happy to have you join us.
Yeah, welcome. All right, let's see. Now let's see. Right?
Hey, was that it?
That is close. I don't know why it's doing this one thing. I think maybe it's a layering thing. This.
I'm watching you do this, and it reminds us. So earlier, I was also doing some polishing of something that I was working on, and we all tweak, right? Like it's like we can't let it go. I feel like folks in the chat can probably identify as well, where where you're like you almost have it, and really there's stuff you can do, but you just can't let it go. You're like, I have to fix it. I have to fix it now.
But we're gonna move on here. I think a little bit. We're going to. I think I know what it is. No, I don't. All right, we're gonna move on. Okay, so we're gonna get to our next.
Also demonstrating a great trait, knowing when to move on.
Yes, knowing when to move on. As now we will. I'll debug that later. Okay, so Jess, tell me about the shuffling. What are we gonna do for our shuffling here?
Well, I feel like we should. Oh man, I mean, we could do either. I think there's two options. One is the 3 to 4 stack option. The other one is the just kind of fan option. I feel like the fan option would be nice to kind of, I don't know, that one seems pretty straightforward because we already see a stack right here. I'm going for visually interesting. And so I wonder if we just do the one that the ones that are not familiar with tarot reading see in the movies, which is just you have the shuffle and it goes out, goes and goes and goes, and then it's a nice fanning.
Okay. So we're gonna shuffle it out.
Yep.
And then we're gonna fan it out, and that's where you're gonna then select your cards.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I feel like we could do some cool like states or hover interactions with that. Have some fun.
How about just like we're designing, technically this is a app of the iPad. I guess we could do, let's try it out in a bunch of different ways.
All right.
So maybe when you just start to hover on it, that's when it starts to shuffle. That's essentially when it kind of like moves out and kind of moves back in, right? And these all get kind of shuffled up.
I like that.
All right. And then, so we're going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our artboard here. Okay. And here we're going to do a one state where we're going to start to kind of, these things are all going to kind of like, they're all going to kind of like loosen up a little bit, move, and then shuffle and kind of interleave back together.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes.
I like it.
So I'm going to move these forward because it's going to be kind of a 3-dimensional thing. So I'm going to move the top card a little forward.
It's so trippy seeing this because my brain wants to be like, oh, you're just skewing it. It's like, no, it's not a skew.
As you'll notice as I do this, as I move this thing backwards and forwards, the width and the height of this object is not changing, which means it's sort of keeping kind of its integrity, right? It's keeping its sort of object integrity. And I can go back and edit it in its sort of like original state, and like basically it's not going to skew or break in any way.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna move that forward, and then let's see. I had that one at like. So this is where we're gonna get accurate. So I'm gonna move this up to 150. I'm gonna move this one to.
In the back of my head, I've got like Miss Frizzle saying like, get messy, and then I hear Talin go, get accurate. It's like right after that. Make mistakes, get messy, and then get accurate.
We're gonna get a little bit of. We're gonna get a little bit of all of it. So
that's the whole design process there.
Okay. There. There we go. So these things are really like coming at you.
Yes.
At least that's the idea. So I'm gonna come down this way. Be a little more dramatic.
And I see that Munir has taken the quiz. Now Munir, that is a challenging quiz. And if you do want to learn more about our updates, we do have a fantastic website that shows you what's new. And it has the latest kind of list of, especially the stuff that we just released last week at Max, which was an exciting time. For those of you guys, by the way, who have not tuned in, this is the first time we've done Max remotely, virtually. which has been amazing, I have to say. Having gone to the conference so many years in person, that's definitely an amazing experience. But doing it virtually, we were talking about this with the XD design team. We're spread across multiple locations in the world. I have 5 different locations. And so, to be able to actually have a conversation about Max at the same time was really just different and cool and totally next level camaraderie there. And I absolutely loved it. And I think that was one of the coolest things about having it available to everybody this year, right? Which was that anybody could tune in, and we just had such an amazing show up of folks that were from all sorts, really representing in a different way than ever. So, if you haven't seen it, I highly encourage folks in the chat to really tune in and watch it. There's some really great stuff there across all of the different stuff we have. And look at this.
All right,
gave them some room.
This might be a little impractical, but this is going to be the first stage of our shuffle. And then essentially they've all kind of like come off the stack, and then they're all going to interleave together, and they're all going to go back down and back onto the stack and the deck slot over here, right?
Random question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the necessity to shuffle something 7 times in order to create absolute randomness? You know about? Have you heard about that?
Maybe. I don't. Is it always 7? Can it be a variation of that?
I mean, when I play cards with folks, this comes up from time to time, and this will dictate probably the shuffling that we're about to see here in this app, right? But do you shuffle once? Do you shuffle 3 times? Does that create the randomness? I mean. What?
It's a computer program, so I guess the random.
It's a computer program. We're trying to make it real, Talin.
I know, real. I think what we're gonna do though, there is a thing that we're gonna do, which is I think so we're doing just the shuffle and then the fan, but we're gonna do the knock. Do you know about the knock?
No, I have no
idea. So the knock is one that I came across. Is what you do before the cards are dealt. Yeah. You knock the cards. You wrap it with your knuckles. You just get a little tap, right?
What does that do?
I think that essentially, I'm not sure exactly what it does. It's supposed to do something. I'm not sure. But that was one of the instructions I found when I was like, how do I do a tarot reading? And it's like, well, you got to do the knock. So I thought what we could do here is as this shuffles and then kind of interleaves and kind of comes back together,
yes,
you're supposed to tap the screen again, and then that creates the fan.
All right.
Okay.
Technically, you could knock the screen, couldn't you?
Yes, you could knock the screen. Yeah. You can knock the screen. Let's see how our little interleaving thing is going to do.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to tap on the deck, and then that's going to do the shuffle here. I'm just going to take some of these.
All right.
I had animated some things from the previous screen, and now I don't need them on these screens, so I'm just going to delete them.
Goodbye. And Val likes the modified 10 shuffle. Val, it's a lot of shuffles. That's a lot of shuffling you got going on there. But if you think it's necessity to shuffle that much, I'm all for it.
I accidentally deleted my deck. So there we go. Okay. Then I was like, nothing happened. And I was like, wait.
Oh.
Oh.
So is that so that was the knock right there. When you clicked it is essentially that.
Let's just say we need a little call to action there that says shuffle. Basically, we need a button that says shuffle is what I think we need. Right, we're UI designers. So I think we need a shuffle button.
Wait. Okay, here's where we're gonna get a little weird. Okay. I know you want to add a button, but does it have to be a button, or can it just be can it be like a glowy thing that just kind of sort of indicates softly that something should happen?
Yes. What do we? Okay, we need to do
glowy thing.
We need a glowy thing. A glowy thing. Okay.
Just kidding. It doesn't have to glow. Let's
see. We can definitely do a glow. We want something here.
Okay.
Right on here, and then we want to give it a. Just trying to think about a glow here. It's going to be a glow.
And yes, absolutely, Howard, you're correct. Adobe does not recommend you punch your screen. So if anyone breaks their iPad, it is definitely not Talin's fault, nor mine.
No, yes.
Just putting it out there. So.
Thanks, Howard. Important safety tip.
Just people just hitting their screens. Yeah. because and the reason why I mentioned this is because, well, it's kind of a toss-up. We'll have to see how this goes, but it is important to have very explicit actions to make it easy for a user to understand the intent, right? The action. But at the same time, I don't know, when it comes to the readings that I've been watching on the webs, I feel like there's just so much of the subtlety to it that it's like, can't we have that here as well?
I am totally with you. I am totally
Yay.
with you. Let's.
And Howard says, how about a voice trigger? Shuffle the deck, my child.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to do that now. Thanks, Howard. We're definitely gonna do that. We got this. We got this.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
Tap
I want a nice thing here.
All right.
Nice vibe. I want the lightness. I'm trying to get your softness here.
Make it soft. Designer's like,
soft.
What?
Where's the soft? I'm trying to find the soft.
Where's the soft blend mode? Wouldn't it be great to have preset buttons that was like pop button, soft button, like just do, and it was just kind of like overlaid on top of the whole app. You just hit the button after a client tells you to do something, and it just auto applies something. I feel like that's what happens with photo filters nowadays. Increase pop.
Okay. Is that soft enough? Is that still a little too harsh?
That's no, it's good. It's soft.
Let's start with that. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's bump this down just a little. We don't need that to be.
Yep. It's soft. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm just one person here looking at this.
What do you think? Are we soft enough here, everyone?
Do we need it to pop more? On the scale of soft and pop.
Where should we go? There's a boop scale in there somewhere too, right?
That is
Howard,
true.
right? Yeah.
Oh man. I need to get one of those shirts from Howard. The boop shirts.
Yes,
so good.
Boop shirt.
I love his t-shirts.
Here, and then turn it all the way off. Okay, here we go. Actually, let's try this now. Okay, so we've got this.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna interleave. So
they're gonna dance. These cards are gonna dance.
So I'm gonna do a timed interaction here.
All
because
right.
now I'm just going to grab all of these and center them.
All right.
Let's see how that looks real quick.
Rachel says that she likes it, but she doesn't like how it covers the deck details, which is true. You made a really nice design, and now you know.
That's a good point. You know what is this needs? I see now. I just had an idea as she was saying that. I'm gonna take that and do that and do this.
Whoa.
Wait a second. That wasn't. I just want that thing. That thing.
There you go.
And then we're gonna bump.
Oh, blur. Yes. Lovely.
It might still be taking up a little too much space. Maybe we cover the eye.
Yeah.
The all-seeing eye.
I do like that eye.
That's not bad. We'll keep working on that. Keep thinking about that, everybody. See what you think.
So the cards are going to dance. You are staging some choreography sequence with them.
Yeah.
Based off time triggered interactions.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So here, prototype mode. Here, I'm gonna go and do a auto animate. It's this one. Time. We're gonna let them go out and then kind of let them back in. Let's start with 0.5.
They're gonna dance for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, we're just gonna go out. Okay, we're gonna wait there. That might be too long, but let's try it out. Okay, so we tap.
All right. Well,
not bad.
Not bad.
Okay.
Maybe like 4. I don't know. Well,
yeah.
I feel like people need to see things instantaneously nowadays. Always. This is the norm.
Let's
instant.
Let's try that. I guess. I went for 0.3. Let's see.
Okay.
Out.
Rachel's riffing. She's saying that you could potentially put it below the deck as well, which is intuitive. That you want to shuffle it while playing the game. So
we just say idea. Tap deck to shuffle. Basically.
True.
That's a great point, Rachel. I think we want to do that. We'll go back and do that in here in a second. Let's see. Okay, we got here.
Yep.
Okay, there.
It danced. Now what are they gonna do? The can?
Now the knock. now we're gonna do the knock here.
I see.
So it's shuffled it once.
Yep.
And now the knock, and the knock's gonna fan them out.
Oh, that feels magical almost. Such a trick. It's like you knock it and it's just like your ability to have telekinesis just makes the thing fan out. I want to do that in real life.
I'm also going to bump down the opacity of this as this moves up. So
actually, on the note of telekinesis, Talin, what if you had a superpower? Let's limit it to like a universe. Let's limit it. What do you like? Do you like the X-Men universe more, or do you like the Avengers universe? Pick a comic universe.
That's yeah. Okay. We'll go with the Marvel. We'll go
Marvel?
with the Marvel cinematic. We'll go with yeah.
So pick your, and this isn't just for Talin, because I love asking this question and seeing what people say. But if you had one superpower from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you could have, what would it be?
See, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, Cap is kind of my favorite character of the MCU.
Oh,
I love Cap.
I could see that.
Yeah. Cap, somewhere in the middle, Cap and Black Panther, somewhere in that zone.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess? What do you got?
I mean, I have to say, there's something I very much admire about not having superpowers, but by leaning on, just who you are. And so Tony Stark definitely pops out, but I know that's not a superpower, so maybe he should be excluded. Although I will say that I very much admire that in a hero, kind of like Batman too, right? That similar thread of like, you can do more and push the limits with just your strengths alone. Superpowers. I mean, the new Thor movie is not coming out yet, but I can't wait to see what they have Miss Thor doing soon. That'll be interesting, right?
I am very excited to. Yes. I read a few of the comic books.
Yes.
With her as Thor, and I really liked where they were going with all of that.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited to see that too.
I think for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I have to say I like Loki's abilities. They're pretty fun. Although shapeshifting has its limitations and he ends up just getting beat every time. Maybe Scarlet Witch.
Oh, yeah.
She's got some good abilities there. Some pretty overpowered abilities. She can fly. She can mind control. She can pew pew. She can do a lot of things.
She can modify reality.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we got here. Bam.
All right.
Together. Knock. We're going to tap on that, and then it's going to fan, and then we're going to select.
Okay.
Moving on to the next one here.
Awesome. Being a billionaire isn't a superpower. That's got some good stuff going on in the chat. Howard thinks that a Thor's good looks count potentially as a superpower.
Fair enough, Howard.
Man, when I first saw Thor with the fat suit on, though, that was definitely took some adjustment.
So funny. That's so funny.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I want them all again to kind of fan out, but I don't want them. So this one right now is on top, and I don't want them to, when they start fanning out, I don't want them too far apart. So,
all right. I feel like in Talin's brain right now, what's about to happen is on repeat in his brain, and that we're about to see it then on canvas.
Let's hope. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got these all together, and the knock is going to fade out.
Who is sad? Who needs a hug? Val, who are you talking about? Loki?
Okay, so here we go. So I'm just
All
gonna
right.
go.
Oh, that card is going wild there.
It's a little,
Doing
maybe a
all
little
sorts
too
of-
far. So then
I see what you're about to do. Yup.
and we'll tweak this to kind of, you know,
Sure.
be as we go.
Yep. Did you hear my dog just?
Yeah, I
did. Sometimes I'm not sure what comes through in the audio. Yeah, he's my little dog is every now and then commenting on our stream here.
Oh, is he enjoying the stream today?
He is. He's
He's
enjoying
like,
it.
Mom, play with me.
He's like, what are you doing, Mom? Staring at that computer again. I am clearly much more important than all of that.
Yes, indeed.
He likes to, if you are all doing regular video conferences, I'm curious if you have animals that are like, oh, right when they're about to have a video conference meeting is when I should definitely interject. That's kind of like the story of my life with my animals.
Yeah. My kids are like that.
You're real animals, the real children, yes.
The real children. The cat child, she just goes outside all day. She's like, I have much better things to do than be with you people all day long. So that's what she does. But she comes in at night, so you know. Okay, so here is our fan, and I'm actually going to take them all and kind of rotate them a little more
Nice.
like this.
I like that it doesn't actually feel perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, it feels a little off. Okay,
I think everything has to feel a little, you know, human, analog, whatever. You know.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I agree with you. You gotta have. It's that. Is it wabi sabi? What is?
Well, yep, wabi sabi. Yep, that imperfection, right?
Yep.
Which kind of creates its beauty in and of its own.
Okay, let's go. Here we go. Tap.
All right.
Shuffle.
Yes.
Knock.
Yep. Oh, did you see those on the left?
Oh,
they tumbled a bit.
They went a little. They tumbled a bit. Let's see what's going on there.
I have to say that's always fun too. Not gonna lie, when you do a prototype and you think it's gonna go a certain way, and then you hit the preview and then the reveal is just like, nope.
Yep. That was, oh, aha! I see why. Why did it do that? It's gonna do.
Awesome.
It's gonna do negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to do a negative number. It did. Mm-hmm. It went all the way around. So it's got to be negative.
Yep. Oh yes, and they are possessed, Howard. Those cards on the left.
They are possessed.
You just leave it in. Be like, folks, I don't know what's going on, but the spirits are with us, and here we go. We're doing all sorts of funky things.
Yep. Okay, so what I did, it spun all the way around because it did 3. It was that the value was at the rotation was at like 300 degrees, something like that.
Yes.
Now let's try this. Let's try this.
Yes. All right. That was better.
That's better.
I don't know. The whole like one possessed card was pretty fun.
That was pretty good. And there was like 4 of them. It was weird. Let's go back and let's debug this a little bit. Let's check it out.
All right. What is the interaction you're doing there? It's got a little bit of a spring to it.
I got the snap. I got the snap on there.
That spring is nice.
It's yeah.
Oh, it feels great.
Nice. All
right. Love it.
So we got the little. Maybe we do a little faster. Maybe just a little faster. But actually, let's just make it just okay. So now we're gonna tap and we're gonna do our cards. We're gonna get our cards out here. Okay. So which cards are we tapping?
I mean, well.
And what's the interaction here? So we want to choose 3 or 4. Which arrangement are we doing?
Let's do 3, and we'll do a general reading for now.
Okay. All right.
So I was watching this YouTube video of this person who was talking about tarot cards, and she had this really cute cat with her, actually. reminded me of Socks the cat. And she said something about how she kind of would hover her hand over and then she would kind of get a feel for it.
Some hover.
I know. And so I'm just wondering if we can kind of channel into that sentiment and then allow for our readers to kind of choose their own adventure here. I don't know. I don't want to ask for the impossible. Here I am. I'm like, can we just do all sorts of things?
No, let's do a hover. Let's do a hover.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is hover is gonna pull it out a little bit from the deck. Okay. So if I go here, go prototype, and I'm gonna do.
Yes.
Go here. I'm gonna do.
By the way, you multitasking beast.
Yes.
I will remind you that you have actually not said anything philosophical around design today yet. The philosopher Talin has not appeared. He's concentrating on making the cards dance and move.
Yes.
No pressure. I'm just saying at some point if something comes to you, I think we could all use some words of wisdom from the talented Talin.
Right.
There it is again. People are loving it, by the way. This interaction looks good. It does look good.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I like it. Where did hover go?
Where did hover go? Oh, good point. Well, go to design mode. And then it's on the component, right? These are all objects.
This is all just groups. And yeah, these are all just objects.
Well, turn them into components. You should be anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna need to, that's right. Let me try this. Let me try this again. Okay. Actually, we can't do that because there's a little limitation right now with 3D transform. Unfortunately, the devs could not make it for Max. Actually, this is a really sad story. The dev team got kind of like there was like a curse or something. One of them, of course, was going out on paternity leave. So, of course, that's not a curse. They were having a baby. That's not a curse. And then another one of them actually got COVID, contracted COVID, unfortunately. And then another one, unfortunately, got in a car wreck. Everyone's okay. Baby was born. Everything's fine with everybody. But that was a tough few months there for that team who was working on 3D Transform. So they've got they got some components support work to do for 3D Transform. But so we're thinking
about it.
Yes.
We're thinking about it.
Yes. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tap and they're gonna kind of come out a little bit. So we're gonna pull them out. So we have 4.
All right.
And then what we're gonna do from there is essentially say, there's gonna some confirmation, like okay. Then deal. So we're gonna do 3. Here we go. So we're gonna do this one to here, and that means this card's going to move out here.
Nice.
Like this, right? And then we're gonna do another one, and we're gonna do which card should we do? Just
the one on the right, far right.
Far right, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And that one's gonna come up here like this.
Oh, it looks so cute.
Okay, and then we're gonna do. Let's do this one. I'm feeling this one.
All right.
Here, like that.
I would like a reading from you at some point now that you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what we're gonna. That's our next. That's our next part. Okay, so now we're gonna have a little thing come up here that says. This is gonna say.
Knock knock. Really? People have been telling me knock knock jokes lately, and they're quite. I don't think I like knock knock jokes. I don't think any of them are funny. Is that? Can I say that?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Someone was trying to tell me a knock knock joke yesterday that had to do with this song. It was like that Maya song, and I just like I was just sitting there. It's like I don't think this is funny. I just don't think it's funny.
My kids. I get the classics from the kids.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, my favorite joke though is that June used to tell me all the time. This was the one that just killed her. She loved it so much. All right, you ready for this, chat? Where does the general put his armies?
Where does the general put his armies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I don't have a clue. Oh my goodness.
Chat, anyway? All right, you ready? This is June's favorite joke.
All right.
In his sleeveys. Yep.
You know, that joke wouldn't have come so well if you didn't actually do the thing with your arms.
Yeah, it was part of it. That's what she would do to me every time.
Goodness.
Every time she would, every time she would tell me, she would hold up her arms like that. It was the cutest thing ever. It was the cutest thing ever.
It is cute, I have to say. I could see a cute little girl doing that, and that's even cuter.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Chat is dying.
Yep. I'll have to have June come in and tell that another time on the stream. Okay, so now we've got our cards. Okay, we're gonna put everything back where it goes. So we're getting accurate here. We're getting accurate.
Yeah. I have to say I have a very soft spot for puns. And when we were doing an event last year, and we made all of this swag that has puns all over it, and I can't remember for the life of me what some of those puns were, but you guys should have seen the original list of puns that we had going that we wanted to put on our swag. It was pretty good.
They were good. Yeah. We had a good time.
One of the swag items was like a pencil, but the pencil, well, we had a camp theme going, and it was a pencil, and the pencil actually looked like a stick, and I think that it said on it the original pen tool, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It's not like that Adobe.
That was
the original pen.
What was on the? I don't remember what was on the pencil now. Anybody who was there with us remember what was on the pencil? It
was a very like Adobe tool pun, though. It was very funny.
It was good.
Or maybe I think it said like no Bezier points attached or something.
Yeah. Was that the Bezier one? It might have been.
It was definitely funny though. Oh my goodness, Anna Medina, my dear friend. I have not seen you in forever. Hi, Anna. Thank you for joining our lovely stream. We are here to talk about tarot card readings, puns, and anime and puppies. My puppies are currently not in my room right now, but they were moments ago. And you just missed a great pun that Talin gave around sleeves. That's still well executed.
Okay. All right, we ready to walk through this? Let's see what we got.
Okay. Oh yes, let's do it.
So tap. This is our shuffle. Shuffle. Knock knock. Fan. And then we're gonna do that one.
Ooh, yes.
I need to speed that. I probably should speed that up a little bit. It's a little too slow.
It does feel a little. It feels like it's like I don't want to come out.
Let's go do that. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like maybe.
It's like, are you sure you want me to be the one?
Okay.
Oh man.
Good rule of thumb I like to follow. If you were back in my After Effects days, 0.25 was like the sweet spot. Not too slow, not too fast. For my eye to just miss it. Huh? So 0.3 is kind of where I kind of round things up.
Yeah.
Again, those are for movements that are like a little more self-contained. Again, something I'm not going to feel is going really fast. For this next one, we'll probably get back to something probably about 0.6 here again.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, there's bigger, broader movements.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, let's go back and run through this again. Okay, tap. There. No.
Yep.
There. That one.
Oh, it's better.
One.
Yeah.
That one.
That feels good.
Good.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, dang.
Hey, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready to turn
He's
it
like,
over.
mic drop.
Here we go.
I love it.
Okay. So now we're gonna tap on, and what's gonna be really cool about this is we can actually have some of these in upside down if we want.
Oh,
But
yes.
We'll get to that in a minute.
All
Let's
right.
turn them over and see what we got. What cards did we pull here? Again, I have not been keeping track of the layers. I'm gonna turn the layers off.
Are we actually playing?
Know.
Is this what's happening right
This
now?
is our reading. This is our reading right here. This is it.
Random chaotic creativity creates a reading here. Love it.
Exactly.
Brand new
What
way.
better way? I mean, that sounds perfect.
That does sound perfect.
Okay. So we're gonna go left to right, right to left. Do we have a?
Let's go left. Let's go left to right.
Okay.
I don't know why. Feels natural that way.
So
maybe because I'm a right-handed person.
So back. Remember we talked about this. I'm actually everybody avert your eyes. I'm gonna have to actually. No, I'm not. Never
avert
mind.
your eyes.
Avert. Never mind.
The secrets.
I'm
The
gonna-
secret layers. Oh. One.
There we go. Okay, so that's our.
Which one's this one again? This one is.
Oh, actually, okay, yes, I did that. Okay, here, there, snap.
All right.
Let's try that. Okay.
Whoa!
That was
What?
a little fast.
Ooh. It is a little fast. This is the part where there's anticipation building up, right?
Yep.
This is the one where it has to be drawn out a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Let's do that.
It's like, which card am I about to get?
Ooh, maybe even a little slower.
Maybe even a little slower.
A little slower.
A little bit more suspense. Where I
That
want to
was
actually
nice.
turn my head and say, "What is that?
What is it?
What
Okay,
that
let's do it. Let's a little
card?"
far. Let's do.
Is it too
one,
much?
three.
I feel
Let's
like
try it.
it's
Let's-
important.
We can't.
Yes.
Ooh, that was
Ooh,
pretty good.
I like
That was
it.
Pretty good.
There you go.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
So that's our first card. Okay,
Thank you, Melanie. Justice. Is this Justice?
That
this
is Justice. Yes, that is
Excellent.
Justice.
Melonie's
Excellent.
a pro. She's amazing. I want a reading from her.
Okay.
And Val. I actually have a queue of people now I want to reach out to.
What's really
All right.
cool, What's really cool about some of the little details in prototype mode
Yes.
is it as I drag a new wire here, it'll actually remember the last setting I had.
Yes.
So super handy. So that's what I'm doing here, essentially setting that and just kind of like doing this.
And Anime Elephant, these designs are courtesy of the amazingly talented Emma Zhang, who is a designer in Adobe Design with us. She's made some of the most amazing illustrations that we've had the pleasure of being able to use. She does this for fun and has this great Instagram that shows you all of these beautiful illustrations. So check out her work. Mad credit to her for letting us use these. Oh, it's upside down.
Upside down.
Did you know? You
I
didn't
even
know.
have to do anything. I didn't even know.
What?
It just did it. It was meant to be. It was meant
Oh
to be.
my goodness. Which one's that one?
That is, let me see. Let's go to the layers panel. That's
Wait,
the
spoilers.
hanged man.
Okay.
Actually, that is the hanged man. So not upside down, technically. Looks upside down. But I know a way we can make it upside down. But
We're going to intentionally change the reading.
the
here?
reading? Okay, well we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
We're not going to change it intentionally now. We're going to do it straight now.
All right.
Here. Okay, back to design mode. Flip this around. Figure that out.
Oh, I like this one.
The wheel of
Yep.
fortune. Okay,
So pretty.
so let's go. This is our reading, everybody. Let's go walk through it. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. You're in the app with Emma's lovely cards.
Yep.
Tap it out. Shuffles together. We can do a knock. We do the
Yep.
fan. We chose that one. We chose that one. We chose that one. Ready?
Ready.
Ready. Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Nice.
Oh.
So good.
That is
So
cool.
good.
So many flips. This is beautiful. I love
Okay.
it.
Okay. This is really nice. So what we've got here now, of course, let's go back to our reference real quick.
Okay.
Let's keep this up on the screen. Let's go see what our reading is.
Oh yes, because you and I, if you are tuning in the first time, oh no, spoilers, my little
Spoilers.
we know nothing about this. We've never done this before, and this is just us having some good fun here. But
Okay.
yes, so we have
Justice. Where's justice? Judge. I think it's judgment.
Judgment.
In this one.
Okay.
No, there it is. No, justice right there.
Nope, justice.
Okay.
All right. So it's about judgment, fairness, and clarity.
Clarity. Ooh,
Okay.
Clarity. I'm feeling clarity.
All right. I mean, this is getting clearer, this design, I have to say.
Exactly. Oh, and the hangman's right there. That was
There you
supposed
go.
to be. Ooh, deep insight.
Change.
And
We did.
release.
We literally had a release. No, I'm just kidding. I know that's not what it meant, but I just had to throw that pun in there.
Love it.
Yes. Deep insight.
Deep
I don't
insight.
know. I haven't heard a deep insightful thing from you yet.
We haven't gone deep today. Okay, not deep.
We will
enough.
soon.
Okay.
Change.
Change.
Release. Okay.
Okay. And then of course the wheel of fortune. Where's the wheel? There it is.
Fate, karma, and unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Oh
I
my.
mean, we're not the readers. If the readers in the chat have an interpretation of what this all means,
Val.
the general reading that we just received from randomly having these three, I guess what we didn't do though is the reversal. So they're all, I'm assuming, facing upright because of how you've
these
done
are
the
all
layers,
upright.
right?
Yes, correct.
What if we just what if we added some randomness? How can we do that?
Ooh.
Where like somehow we here we go. Here's randomness for you. First, if you're in the chat, type 1 or 2. Just do it. And the first 3 numbers that we see will dictate the order of
the
split.
orientation.
The orientation. So just 1 or 2. And as soon as I see the numbers, that's going to be the orientation. I'm just going to leave it to random people typing.
I like that.
But as we wait for them to type that in real quick, this looks really good, Talin.
Thank you. I'm so excited. It looks
Yes.
really
222.
nice.
Oh.
Oh.
They're all gonna be upside down. Is this chat manipulating our fate here? All right. well, I did say just, put in the number and I saw 3 2s. So that's what's gonna happen, Talin. They're all gonna be upside down.
Oh, they're all gonna be upside down? Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That gives us the worst reading. Oh, you guys.
Well, is it worse? So I've heard different things around reading. So the first is that it could just mean that it's like the like a slightly twisted version of the original thing, right? I've also heard that it could be literally just a different negative version of it. It's basically the positive reading, but without any of the positivity. I've also heard though that I've heard that it's also about the journey to get there, right? So if you're kind of trying to understand where you're headed and how you're approaching something, that the way you get there is through this, but ultimately you get, whatever the theme is around the card. So there you have it.
I got you. I could go. Okay. And there's going to be some unfairness, of course, as there always is. We couldn't do everything we wanted to do because of a few limitations, of course.
Yep.
Yes. Did we sacrifice any to get here to this point, or the lack of control? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go back to the Wheel of Fortune. Bad
Negative
luck,
phase,
lack
bad
of
luck,
control,
and lack of control. I mean, this year, right?
Again, yeah. That's
so.
Just, yep. Guess that's the reading we deserve for this year.
Well, the chat dictated it. They said 222 first. So there you have it. There is our actual reading.
Okay, I've got one more thing here as we're getting into kind of the last home stretch here of our stream. This is so much fun, and I really want to build the rest of this out now. I just love this experience, and we could do different arrangements. You could kind of choose different arrangements that you wanted to do. Like this could be a quick basic reading, and then you could have a much more in-depth reading where there's 4 or more cards. We could definitely go deep here.
Yep.
But as we were talking earlier in the stream, what if what if we kind of, again, there's really no precedent here in terms of, digital tarot experiences.
Yes.
But there is one thing that, like, the physicality of it, the thing sort of being there, with you in the real world is, of course, a big part of it.
Mhm.
So what if we tried to take this into the real world?
We're going to take it outside of this little artboard.
We're gonna take it outside of these screens here.
All right, let's do it.
What if we took it kind of out there into the world? Now, I did a little, full disclosure, I did a little test run of where we might take this today, and of course, if you watch some Howard streams, you probably know where this is going. But I quickly went and grabbed this the other day from Adobe Stock. And just to imagine what this might be if we were to unlock this from the device and actually put this Emma's beautiful deck out there in augmented reality.
Ooh. Oh.
So what if we could actually pick those up off the screen?
Oh my goodness.
Off the table out there in the real world.
Oh, wow.
Those beautiful cards of hers out there floating in space.
Oh yeah.
Giving it that feel that, like, this, it could be right there in front of me. So this was my little test the other day. Like, is this gonna work for us?
Did it just flop? You just made it flop on the table? Wow, I see that. That's super cute, that micro detail.
So that's what's, one of the things that we did, we got Anirudh and I really excited about 3D Transform. And I think this is the moment where it really felt like, oh, we've got to put this in XD. One of the early inspiration points for us was, like, if you look at things like, you look at Apple, you look at Google's operating systems, you look at iOS, right? There actually is a lot of 3D transform going on.
Yep.
If you go and you look at, say, like, mobile Safari, right? Or you look at even the new things like the little widgets, right? And as you swipe between them, you can actually see some of this idea, this feeling of depth, of perspective. It really helps you kind of orient yourself. So we always knew that we really wanted that we were doing 3D transform to help designers more easily create those types of experiences that we're seeing more and more on Apple's devices and on Google's devices. But the minute we just sort of said, like, well, actually we took this design and we just dropped it onto this backsplash. We were inspired by one of our UX creative residents. Actually, she had done an augmented reality experience. I remember her, she had to do the UI in XD, record the video, take it into After Effects, composite the video on top of a flat image, and then, of course, just like, composite and pull, rip out a video from there.
Yeah.
And like, well, this makes it so much faster for me to sort of take that first step to visualizing an augmented reality experience. And that's really, that's what started to get us really excited about the potential for 3D transform. So that's what we are going to do maybe the next few minutes here, is now take, again, some of these elements and actually kind of transplant them into a space. And I actually went and got some new images here.
I was gonna say, Rachel in chat says, really cool. You just need a dark room with lights strung around and black velvet tablecloth. And I'm looking at it now and I'm like, yes, well, you know what? You can actually do a tarot reading from anywhere, from your little girl's room that has cute little, Did you see the background of that image? It's got,
it's got like a little
very charming, cute little
cute
tower.
So I've got a couple for us to choose from, chat. I've got this table here. I've also got this one there.
Oh, what is that? A kitchen counter?
It's like a kitchen table, kitchen countertop. There's this one here.
Oh, I like that one. I guess I just like bokeh though, but that one's nice.
There's this one.
That one's
a little more natural.
Yep.
There's that one.
That one's very like happy.
Yes. It was very happy. So again, this is, it actually takes there's a lot of, like steps it takes right now just to be able to sort of, visualize an AR experience. And so this is, again, just kind of cracks that door open a little bit and lets you kind of, again, tell that story and really get a sense of how this might work out there in the real world. So let's,
I'm gonna
some of our cards here.
Well, if you're gonna ask the chat what they want, I'm gonna do a thing.
Okay.
Clearly, I want an exclamation point. Nope, just kidding.
The
One.
first one, yeah.
I'm
Rachel,
just
I like
gonna-
the first one.
2, and then. Are these the ones you want the chat to decide?
Yes, I think those are the ones. Right
all
there.
Right. So chat, you now have your numbers. I don't know why they're all underlined. I will underline them. And you can go ahead and just put 1, 2, or 3. Don't pick 2. You only get to pick one of them. And then I will tally them up, and then we will have our winner. So someone.
Those are 3, and I'm going to grab our deck here, and I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to start. Messing around with this.
All right. So far, it looks like we've got 3 and 1 tied.
3 and 1. Ooh,
1, more 1. One's bleeding so far.
Okay.
I wonder if it's that kind of darker vibe.
A little darker vibe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 1 is definitely 1. It's between 1 and 3. 1 though.
Okay.
Looks like 1's winning so far. So maybe just keep designing in 1.
I will for a moment here. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll set up here. 4. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
3's coming in. 3's coming in strong.
Oh, 3's coming in strong. Oh
1,
boy.
2, 3, 4. I see 4 for 3. I see 1, 2. I see 5 for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5. It's 5 and 5 so far. It's a split even.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we can kind of transfer them both ways. So we'll just sort of start here. So I'm going to take these and lock that down first. All here. Stick them up.
This is a very happy reading, this one. This one's
This is a very happy reading.
That's the glow of the sun. It's awesome.
Okay.
It's interesting because your comp actually of how you're doing this exceeds reality in a way. So it's almost like you're making a new experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is very cool.
Actually, I want to scale these up a little bit first. I'm going to make these a little bigger for our
All right.
table here. That'll help us out.
Yep.
And put them back.
Oh, and Rachel says, let the user choose. I think if we're actually to build this out, that would definitely be an option.
Yes, it would be. It would be an option here.
Look at that. We should
So,
make a solitaire game after this.
We should.
Just when you did
Yes.
that, I was just like, yep,
Look at that.
let's do that.
Okay. 1, 2, and then what I want to do is I'm going to swing it around like that a little bit. So we can, now we have kind of both axes to play with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like what we can do
Oh.
is actually kind of just try and line up those perspective lines just a little more.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, something like that. That's pretty
All
close.
right. Yeah.
Let's go with that. Okay. Move these back together on the stack here. Okay.
Oh, one more 1 came in. I think 1 wins.
1 wins? Okay, we'll go back
1
to 1
wins.
here and just.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And here's what I'm going to do. Put that one up. All right. And it's going to be 18. And it's going to be. Okay, all right. So we've got.
There you go.
This up here a little bit. You want to even like. Sometimes it helps to start by kind of over exaggerating something a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Imagine if you had this for a lot of the online card games that people do play. Like I know there's like a Magic the Gathering card game, right? I've never played it, but I do know that's a thing. And then there's just
Hearthstone,
solitaire. Yep, Hearthstone. Mm-hmm. Imagine doing this in AR. That would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, really cool.
And actually, that is a very good call out, Val. Thank you for reminding me. So maybe, Talin, you can do me a favor since we're watching your stream, and you can pan up to my lovely guest.
Oh, yes.
He's up on the top. Hello, everyone. This is one of my furry animals who you might have seen on the stream because he definitely was in my room for some of it. This is a picture of my dog, Hiba. He is wearing a very cute little Padres scarf, which is the closest thing to a costume that my little dog has ever had, because I don't actually dress up my dog that much, except for this one time in which I did decide to put something on him. I didn't buy this. Someone just gave this to me and asked me to put it on my dog. And so you can see, he's not very pleased in that photo. But anyway, I'm bringing this up because of the fact that we have in about 30 minutes with Andrea a XD creative challenge, a daily creative challenge. So check it out. The theme is going to be focused on making an app that is involved with that revolves around dressing up your animal. And I have to say, my animals don't enjoy being dressed up. So that was just my little way of showing that and showing you proof that his disapproving face did not enjoy the cactus thing that was around his head. But there's going to be a challenge to build an app that lets you have pets being dressed up. So stay tuned for that. If you want to, after you watch the stream, check out the Discord, and I think we can get that posted, which is, XD, the bit.ly.xd Discord. And there you can go ahead and submit your entries for the creative challenge. So definitely stay tuned and submit something, and I will be looking at those cute little puppy dress up apps, because they are sure to be delightful. I have to say, I do want to dress up my animal in a costume, but he just won't have it. he just like keep that thing away from me. No, it's not gonna happen. No.
Classic.
All right. So tap the deck to shuffle. This is starting to feel like the trailer for Pokemon Go. When I first saw that trailer and I saw Pokemon in the wild in AR, I was like, this could be real someday. That's just
what's so funny about this workflow, and she's probably not tuned in today, but there was this amazing designer who worked at Adobe. Her name was Bushra Mahmood. She's now at Unity? I think she's at Unity. And she worked on Dimension. She worked on all of our sort of 3D apps. It's the burgeoning 3D scene. Of course, now we added Substance and others to the Adobe family. At the time, it was actually when she was working on Dimension and I was working on XD, was when Pokemon Go came out. And one of the first sort of times I'd ever really designed kind of a use case around AR and 3D in XD was we had sort of cooked up a workflow from Dimension to XD so that we could design an experience like Pokemon Go.
I see. That's super cool. Oh man, I would love to do that. That sounds fun.
Yep, it does indeed. Okay, so I'm going to do a little auto animate here. We're going to put these down here like they're coming up from behind the table.
Oh, look at that.
And just take the opacity down into that. Okay. So when you first sort of pop open your phone or your tablet and you go from that screen to that screen, you auto animate. And let's see how that looks.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We've got only a little bit of time left. We've got to at least start to get in some of our core experience. So we had our shuffle and our fan. I think we might just go for the fan, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. To just jump right there because of we want to make sure we get kind of a fun kind of experience in here.
I just noticed you did something, but keep doing your thing because
Hey.
you have peaked another feature, which is one of my favorites this year,
Oh,
which is
yes.
multi-flows.
Multi-flows.
And I have to say, these, no offense, the 3D transform stuff is super cool and I absolutely love it. And you guys have seen how magical this can be. But I also love the features we build that are much more they're just helpful. They're just straight up helpful. And I have to say one of my favorite features this year is multi-flows that are one of our lovely talented folks on the team, Gayatri, really spearheaded in a beautiful way. And you'll see it in a sec, but it's a pretty fab feature that I very much love.
Let me go back out there. So
there it is.
I marked this here. So I actually created, as I was doing this, I clicked on and created a new home artboard. Again, the home artboard is created. That's kind of the start of your flow. It's created when you first start wiring up in prototype mode. So if I zoom out here, I have flow 1, which is kind of where we started over here with my presentation for the first day. That was kind of the first home artboard. And I could go here and actually create a home artboard for
flow.
The main app flow. And of course, this is our AR flow.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So then when I go and share this with my collaborators, with my stakeholders, I can actually publish now multiple links from a single XD file.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just love that feature so much because it does so many things. It's, for those of you who are so used to writing like 200-point, text titles of the sections that you're organizing, the flows help with that. I don't make those ever again now because the text scales to whatever your view is. So it's super easy to just label your sections now. But then there's a multi-purpose use of it being, as Talin had mentioned, this thing that can allow you to send very curated links as you need to. And it's just been one of my favorites this year. And the minute it came out, I was just, went back to all of my old cloud docs and I was just like, organize all the things. It was great.
I'm really excited for the future of that, just in terms of like document organization, sharing, managing sort of all the different audiences that I share with, different versions of designs, different parts of the design.
It's all good stuff. Look at that. I feel like everyone's going to feel like they have the ability to be a telekinetic superhero when they play this AR app. It's like, which one can you tap?
Okay, let's check this out.
All right.
So we go from there. Okay, here we go.
Tap to deck to shuffle. Yep. Ooh. And they're floating. I love it.
Looks like I had some of those crazy rotation things
They're possessed.
Yes, possessed.
Couple ghosts are in here possessing some of our cards.
Indeed. This is negative 60. That's
super cool, though. I have to say, I really love a lot of the AR experiences and the immersive experiences that you see when you go to a museum. Lately, one of my favorite things is just to kind of see the light projection experiences. Have you been to a museum that's done that?
Yeah.
Those are super cool. It's awesome seeing digital and reality blur in more and more together.
It is. And I again, one of the things, if we want to get, this is my philosophical moment for the day.
Here we go.
There we go. So, right, like, I really truly believe that, like, designers need tools. They help them sort of, lower the barrier to entry when it comes to, designing for new platforms.
Yep.
Right. And we're actually, we're seeing kind of right now, at least, like there's a high barrier to entry for AR and VR experiences.
Yes.
And thus you're seeing very niche experiences sort of being created, or things that haven't yet kind of caught kind of a wider audience. Because it's a very limited pool of people who are creating for these platforms right now, currently, right? And that when you lower the barrier to entry by creating great tools or creating very efficient workflows, you will see an explosion of creativity for these platforms, right? And
absolutely.
It goes back to one of my, like, why the web, why we are where we are with the web today, is really because of Flash. Back, if you remember kind of web, if you were, what experience in the web in kind of the 90s or like the early 2000s, like the web was, was pretty basic, right? In the early days, it didn't really allow for a lot of expression, but along comes a tool like Flash that allowed designers, right, lowered the barrier to entry for developing a site, for designers, for creative people who might not be well versed in all the different technologies and code bases and all that stuff. And it just lowered that barrier to entry so that anybody could create an interactive site. And just the explosion of creativity that happened, on the web due to a tool like Flash, again, it's something similar to that I think needs to happen with AR and VR. Is like we need accessible tools. We need tools that allow for a majority of people to come in, kind of get their foot in the door, and start to imagine what these platforms and the experience can really do for us. And that's what makes me excited about something like 3D Transform. It's not built for that necessarily. Again, it's not the only thing. Again, it's great for UX and UI design. Again, space or spatial, sort of orientation is super important as we, have grown to sort of add more tools to our toolkit as designers, on, 4 screens for digital experiences. But just being able to just kind of take that half step forward, start to imagine what this world could be like, this augmented reality world, this virtual reality world, I think will lead to great things, I hope. So,
I mean, what you said, I love it when Talin goes on one of these. I just want to just talk forever about this kind of stuff, right? And we obviously love doing that on the side, but it actually reminds me of the keynote last week, right? Which is creativity for all. Like, I know we work at Adobe, but honestly, like truly, like that's like in the core of everything that we try to build. And what you're saying, it really resonates in that. I remember the first tool that I really used to get creative was Photoshop, right? Mm-hmm. And I used it to express my illustration because I didn't have the means to buy charcoals and watercolors and the things that, I just couldn't. And so I expressed my creativity through digital painting, which was huge. And, at the time, a lot of people were going through this experience. And so you would see some amazing work happen that challenged and made new art basically form online, right? And so it was extraordinary. And I think that one of the coolest things we mentioned earlier, the cool things about being in the creative industry, one is just having fun doing the work, which is obviously awesome. But I think another thing that's great is that I love how much of a pioneering industry we're in, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, you don't know where it's going in 5 years. You don't know if what you're designing right now is just the precursor to an explosion of a brand new way that we as humans kind of explore and experience life. So absolutely 100% agree with you that is huge and pretty profound. And so it's what gets me really excited about working on this kind of stuff, right? And when I hear something like creativity for all, that's exactly where my mind goes, right? Is unleashing that. So super cool stuff.
Yeah, I really believe the designers are on the forefront of creating kind of that new reality, right? Those new experiences. Creative people of all kinds are at the forefront of doing that.
Maybe we're gonna have new ways of reading, tarot cards.
maybe.
There we go.
Yes, indeed. So here we are, right? We're sort of fanning them out.
Yes.
We're choosing our cards. All right. And then it goes the sort of final part of the experience here.
Yep.
We go here.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Move these over here and take these and we're going to kind of put them back here for a moment.
All right.
Put this one. And of course, we want to give them a little feel that they're kind of out there in space. So I'm actually going to kind of tweak them all a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So they're
they feel like they're a little, they're hovering a little bit.
Yeah, they're sort of hovering out there for you.
Like Star Trek is becoming a reality by watching this AR thing. All right.
Good. Here we go, and I want to one hack because I named these all correctly. So I'm actually just going to go take them from this first screen where they're already sort of stacked up very nicely here.
All right.
And I'm just going to copy them here. And then I'm going to come back over here and I can delete these.
Oh.
And just paste those there.
Hacks.
Okay. Let's see. Let's move those up just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Let's go walk through this. Oh, we need some UI. It says,
We're about to see it. The prestige. It's about to come.
there we go. Here, there. Okay.
Lovely.
Okay, here we go. Let's go walk through it.
All right.
Shuffle. There we go. Now choose our cards.
Yep.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Oh, I forgot to wire that up. Actually, while I'm at it, I might just do this real quick.
Yes, the flips.
Do the flip.
Might as well, since we're reaching the end of our stream.
Yes, indeed.
We will finish. Ooh. Oh, I love it's more different ones.
Yes.
Nice.
Here.
I find it deeply amusing that there's randomness to this because, you're designing things and you kind of know where it's going. But in this case, it really does feel like
it really does,
reading.
Doesn't it? Like you're just kind of like going with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, where is this taking me?
Mm-hmm.
We know that.
It's
don't know.
fun. Having our own little adventure here. Oh, wow. That's cool.
So good. Okay, let me make sure these are all wired up here. But we want the long one here. This is the longer one.
That's true.
This is the 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1.5.
And then
5. Okay. This one actually want to lengthen out a little bit too to 1. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Here we go. This is our tarot app experience.
all right.
The AR experience. There's our shuffle. That one. That one. That one. Ready. So we're ready. That happened a little fast, but we'll tweak that in a second.
1,
Full.
2.
High priestess.
Oh wait.
Oh no! I did not wire it up. Get wired up. I wired up the
I
wrong
like
one.
how you can just see it in like 2% zoom.
Yep. Okay. And then.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, what just happened? No. No. Okay. I want to do this here.
All right, and here we
Okay,
go.
Here we go.
Our final,
this is our final reveal.
The final reveal.
The
1.
Fool. The High Priestess. And Death.
Bam!
We did it!
we did
it!
it!
Oh my gosh, we did it! That was so fun, Jess. Oh my gosh.
And we said we would do it, and we did it. So thank you all. And that is pretty much the end of our stream. We appreciate you all tuning in. Super fun times, as always, Talin. Absolute
Always,
pleasure creating and seeing you do great work together. And thank you, chat, so much for joining us and being such a pleasure to talk to. So
hit us up on Twitter. Please keep the conversation going. We're going to post some of this up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's it. So, thank you again, and hope you enjoy the rest of the streams for today.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.